everyone. It's Barbara Hayward here from the Old Girls Spiritual Stuff Facebook page and the Old Girls Spiritual Stuff YouTube channel. And now we've got the Old Girls Spiritual Stuff.com website. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today's an absolute pleasure for me. I have known this wonderful lady I'm introducing you to for several decades, actually. I will tell you the background story, which I'm very proud of. I can't remember the year, but it was 32 years ago. So whatever that is, 2000.
Probably even longer, Barbara.
No, but no, it isn't up, because I'll tell you why exactly it is that.
Yeah.
Is that I moved to a place called New Plymouth, and my partner and I decided to have a surprise wedding in amongst a 40th birthday
That's
party.
right.
Yep. And I had put in an ad to do some readings, and this wonderful lady, Gwen Hodder, came to see me for a reading, and we became quick, instant friends. And I told her that we were going to have a wedding and I would love her to come, but it was a secret because my hubby and I, as a lot of you know, were a day apart in age and same year, different country. And it was going to be our 40th birthday, so we decided to have a surprise wedding. Gwen came in and she helped me organise. She had a friend who did my hair and let me a top and help organise the food. And because we'd just been there a month, and so then after the wedding, we found this wonderful house, and it happened to be exactly next door to Gwen. So we became very, very fast friends. And the reason I know how is because last month, on the 9th of April, which was Dennis's birthday, I became 72. And so that was 32 years we've been married. So that's how long, and that's how I know exactly how long that I've known Gwen. So
good.
My next door neighbour, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're more than welcome.
Now Gwen's had a really fascinating and interesting journey. She's a New Zealander, and now she lives in Australia, which she has for a couple of decades now. And our paths cross every now and again. And so welcome, Gwen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you for having me.
Oh, look, it's absolutely my pleasure. I'm a little gushy at the moment, folks, so don't worry about me. In your journey, what I do know about you, you've always been interested in the spiritual side of things, but not as an absolute part of who you are. It was what you loved, and it's what you believed in, and it's what you the greater parts of being spiritual, the kindness, the goodness, the peacefulness. You've always had that, because in the beginning, that's what attracted me to you was all that kindness, and so that is the foundation of being spiritual. Now, I'm just going to dump something in here that Gwen doesn't know I'm going to say, and it's probably totally inappropriate, but that's me. Gwen is an amazing, I don't know if you're a chef or a cook or a baker, it doesn't matter. She creates great food. But one of the things that Gwen creates that is just beyond heaven is her salads.
Oh, really?
Now, in her salad, have you, and I'm talking to the greater audience, have you ever eaten food from somebody that absolutely lives and brings that love into everything that they cook? You can taste the difference. And Gwen is that lady. In her food, be it a roast or be it a pasta, but I'm specifically talking about her salads. Every mouthful, you can taste the divine love. And I love Gwen's cooking, and I love her food, but I just wanted to share that because sometimes our spiritual journey is not necessarily in the things that we know or in the gifts or the abilities we have, but it's simply sometimes as simple as the love we put in the food. And in my opinion only, Gwen is the great epitome of that exact thing, being a spiritual being that brings love out, not only to the people around her, and I can absolutely attest to that, but also in the food she cooks. And her son is he's a cook and a chef as well, and I've tasted his food way back when, and he has that gift as well. However, Gwen, welcome. After that, I
Thank you.
just wanted to throw that in
Lovely. Thank you.
because sometimes people misconstrued what being spiritual is.
That's right.
It is not how good a clairvoyant you are or how great a healer you are, but it's in the love you give. It's in that peacefulness, it's in that validation. And that is what I want to begin to say about you so we can build on that story. So who you are today didn't just happen.
No, not at all.
So would you like to tell us some of your stories, the story that you'd like us to know?
Oh, maybe way back when I was very young, I could see spirit, and I was very frightened of it, and I didn't really have anyone to talk about it. My grandmother was part gypsy, and she did readings and also, teacups, tea leaves, and everything like that. But I was a lot younger, and she was a lot older, and I never actually learnt from her while she was alive. But when she passed, I seemed to have taken on her gift. And but I learnt on the way, and then I found myself many teachers, many teachers, from ethnic backgrounds right through to all types of backgrounds, and wonderful teachers. And it kind of led me to Australia. And when I was living in the Blue Mountains, that was seen to be 9 years of learning, even though I was still, I was trained a lot in New Zealand for remedial massage and different types of healings, aromatherapy, nutrition and everything like that, and homeopathic medicines. But in Australia, I met an amazing Qi-Gong teacher, master, and I studied with him, along with a group of us, studied with him for a period of 2 years part-time.
Can you explain Qigong a little bit more? It is a word that I've heard. I personally don't know a lot about it. I just know it's amazing. So if you could give us a bigger picture of that.
Well, Qigong is learning about energy and taking energy out and bringing energy in when you're working on somebody. And so I learned all the different techniques to do that, to get blockages out of the energetic field as well as the body. And you can feel it. And when you're trained to do it, you can actually feel it, and you can feel putting your hands over someone's body. You can, in the energy field, you can actually feel where something is not right or there's something stuck there, and I work with that with the client as well.
So are you saying that in Qigong, you can take the old energy out, the energy that's not working,
Yes.
get that released, and
Yes.
then allow the new, clean, pure energy to come back in?
Yes, and the healing process. So it might even bring up an emotional part, something about the past that needs to be healed. And so even talking about it and getting the client to talk about it actually helps release that energy faster as well.
Okay, so it sounds like Qigong is a modalium that can be incorporated with other ones that you do. So if
Absolutely.
that's the case, what other in other techniques that you know about, where do you place that as well?
Well, I can I can book a client in to have a reading, then the energy work, like Qi-Gong work, along with a hypnotherapy as well. And hypnotherapy is a great way of getting into the unconscious mind, for them to go into the unconscious mind to heal, and bring up all that inner child stuff. And it's not emotional because you're in a trance. And so you are actually the observer of yourself as a younger age, and going through the process of bringing love back into your heart and healing trauma, but also remembering the good times as well, because sometimes what happens is we get so involved in healing in our crisis that we forget about all the wonderful good times we've had in our life. So that's also incorporating that and bringing those good times back up to the surface and remembering those times as well.
And that's an interesting word. I don't think I've heard anybody else say that word, remembering.
Yeah.
Do you want to go a little bit more with that?
Well,
I love that. I've used that for
yeah.
probably the last 40 odd years, but to hear somebody else say it is extraordinary.
Oh, okay. I guess remembering to me is like you remember things, but remembering them on a different level. So you're actually, because sometimes our memories are false. Sometimes our memories, because we all get distorted as we get older. So when we go into a trance state or into healing, I mean, anyone who lies on a table and has trust in the person that's working on them, they are able to actually open up. So they are remembering, they are remembering something maybe and getting a different result out of it. Okay.
Because if you're doing that now,
Yes.
you also bring a different perspective on it too, don't you?
That's right.
You bring the
Absolutely.
perspective of the young person
Yes.
who hasn't got any measurements around
Yeah.
it. And then the story we add onto it over time. And then as an adult, we can look back with a greater perspective.
And it's just, yeah, and that's right. You're exactly right. And it's being the observer. So once when you're an observer of your memories, you're not coming from all of the triggers, all of the suffering. You're actually observing that child back then. And that's amazing because then you have the power to help that child heal. But when with some people, they can't quite get there. It takes a few sessions. And then once they get to that point, it's so much easier to heal from it. It's very much like when we have the same pattern. So we see a pattern in our life and we keep doing it until we actually are aware of doing it. Then we go, okay, so it's time to heal from that. I can see this pattern keeps playing out in my life and playing out in it. And so you are aware of it. You become aware and you go, okay. And that's when practitioners step in, healers step in, to have to help them. And again, going back to that remembering and looking at it from perspective and taking ownership too, not taking ownership of the actual,
the event, the situation back there.
Yeah, no, but taking responsibility for how we are, us doing a similar pattern, and we're an adult and we keep having that pattern going on. But then when we remember, then we can and be aware of it. Then we can change it.
And it's in the acceptance of something. It's what I call ownership. If you don't own something, you can't change something. And it's like the example, if I'm renting a house, which I've always done up until now, I can't, because I don't own it, I can't change anything in it.
Yes.
But if I own it, I can change anything I like.
Yes.
And so when we take ownership, we can then make the changes. And I think I'm hearing you say that as an adult, we can then take ownership as an adult and
Yes,
release the things that aren't working for us
yes,
through these techniques that you've
yes.
got.
Otherwise, we remain the victim in every situation that comes up in our life. And every situation and challenge that comes up in our life is that person showing us, hey, I'm not healed yet. I'm still aware I've got the same pattern that keeps showing up through other people as
Now,
well.
you also touched on, which I personally would like to get you to elaborate, because I personally had this experience with Gwen, and that is your readings. Gwen and I, and a lot of people in our field, we are friends, and because when you work in this area constantly, one of two things will happen. Your friends will come out of this area through readings or healings, and you just got compatible energies, or you've got friends from other areas. But because we work with a different energy and we do things and we know different things than most people. Okay. I mean, that's just the way it is. We have a greater, maybe obvious connection, not a greater connection, but obvious connection. And I found over my decades that the friends I've made have come out of readings or whatever. So, but where that goes with that is when you've got a couple of clairvoyants and a couple of readers or psychics, we usually often will ask the other person for information. It's like, what do you see, whatever. So over the decades, I've had that experience by asking Gwen a lot of questions about where to from here and that. And so I've never sat down with Gwen and had like a long reading. However, I've had the advantage of lots of bits of readings. And to me, they're the same thing. And Gwen is very accurate, by the way, everyone out there. Gwen is very accurate. Let me know. If you want a good reading, this lady is sitting right in front of us here. So contact her.
Thank you.
Well, I'll leave all her information for you on the YouTube underneath the description and on my Facebook page. So please contact Gwen. It's a great way to start, then leading into the other things that she does. So with your readings, how do you do them? Do you like me, you just use clairvoyance, or do you use the tools of spirit like cards, that sort of thing?
Well, I use, I start off with the reading with just a fraction of numerology because it helps me tune into the person. And for some reason, energetically, it works because I used to do a lot of readings online for companies overseas. And so therefore, that was my way of tuning in because on the phone, you had to be really quick because people weren't going to stick around too long. They just wanted one question answered or whatever. And most of them, that's how quickly it was. But I prefer a long reading. I prefer an hour. And so what I do is I start off with the birth date, and then I just automatically just tune in with them. And even the birth date of family. And I always ask spirit if I can look in, and if I can't, I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's somebody else's energy. Okay. And so the reading, there's mediumship, some mediumship comes through as well. Usually some ancestor or a member of the family pops in, or even a friend, even a cat and a dog sometimes can pop in. So, and then I've also got a set of cards that I use, but I was never really trained to study the cards. The cards just tell me a story.
Yeah.
When I look at them, and I get messages as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of, just messages flow through. And quite honestly, I never remember readings. I have no idea what I've said at all after the reading, when the reading's finished. And
yeah, in the 40 years that I've been doing readings, I think there's only about 4 or 5 in that I could tell you, but I can't tell you exactly word for word for the whole hour, but they were so significant.
Yes, that's
that
the significant things, we tend to hold on to, or we
otherwise
remember.
Otherwise, it's not our business.
No, that's right. I always say to people, you know, how the Dalai Lama says so much compassion is life. How can he hold on to every person that he sits with? You just can't, you know. You are there in that present moment. You support that person in the present moment to move forward in their life. What I like to do is clear the blockages and let them see that they've got alternative pathways in their life, instead of staying in the same one. And that's up to them at the end of the day, whether they choose to walk away and use them. You know, that's my job is finished once I've completed the reading with absolute compassion. Because compassion to me is serving others without detriment to self.
Yeah. And if you hold on to it, but a couple that I do remember, one with great love and one with absolute sadness and devastation, it would destroy you if you remembered everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because it's not our energy.
No,
It's not our, once that client moves away, it is none of our business.
that's right.
Their business is not our business.
That's right. And we can't be, it's not for us to be attached to their outcome.
No.
No.
No. Our role in that moment, I'm not sure if I'm sure you might agree, is to bring accuracy,
Yes.
to bring awareness, to
Yes.
bring validation, to bring compassion, and to send them off with love.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe in amongst there give some tools for them to be able to work things for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Okay, now the other thing I wanted to ask.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you too, Barbara, because when I met you, you really helped me open up my journey and my spiritual gifts so more, you know. And like I said, when I was younger and growing up, I didn't have someone there to show me, and so I really appreciate that in you, and thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Like you, that's what we're here for.
That's right.
Really. And if we're doing our job properly with spirit in partnership, as I call it, partnership or connection with, then that's our role.
That's right.
And
Exactly.
it's done with great love. And so thank you for that. The other thing I was talking to Gwen before we came on air, and I threw something at her that she had no idea we were going to talk about. And that's the Aries in me. I'm an 8-day born. I'm a 30/3. I'm an Aries lady. I'm an Australian lady. So, you know, I've got a lot going for me, or not much, as some would say. So I like to throw little curlies in there. I would like you to tell us or share with us some of your really deep beliefs that have held you in good stead. Like the majority of us, Gwen has had her harsh times. She's had her great times, and she's had her really harsh times. So with all of us spiritual workers, we create through experience philosophies that work for us, and as we grow and evolve and change, they may even change, or they may get deeper and more vibrational as we become more open and aware. So what are a couple that you can share with the audience that have held good stead for you?
Well, where do I begin?
Anywhere.
Well, I guess there must be an inner strength in me to keep moving forward, and for the challenges that I've experienced, and and my philosophy is that everything in life now is experience, and that's what we take with us. We don't take all of the emotions or being a victim or anything like that. We actually take the experience, and that's what I believe we're here on earth, is to experience life to its fullest. And and I guess healing the shadow side of self is really important. Not bury it, not bury it down, and always look at self and where is this part needs to be healed. And I guess my philosophy is just keep moving forward, my philosophy is always having something wonderful to look forward to, because I find if I haven't got something good to look forward to, I can get into the doldrums. And
That's so easy to do in
yeah,
this climatic energy
that's
that
right.
we've got globally. It's just so full of chaos.
Yeah.
And I do know this to be true of Gwen.
Mm.
I knew her in her marriage. I knew her after her marriage, and I knew her with her children, wonderful children. She's a grandma and a mum, and I'm not sure I told you, but I'm a great grandma.
Great grandma. Well, congratulations.
Nearly 3 now.
Congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you. Yeah, that sort of came upon us fairly quickly. The hubby and I between us have got 5 children, and their ages range from 55 down to my son who lives here, who shall not be named. He's 46. So our children, the 5 are in that range group. So it's in that great grandchildren age now. The thing I also know about you is that you do have great strength.
Mm.
You've got, the other word I would use for you is amazing tenacity.
Mm. Thank you.
You know the Japanese saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
That's it. That's it.
That's in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yeah.
And Winston Churchill, one of his famous sayings was, never, 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 never give up. And they're both the same. So you combine hypnotherapy with Qi-Gong.
Yes.
And I will tell you that I have not experienced that with Gwen. I've not even experienced Qi-Gong, but I'm very interested in it. Is this something that you can do? We live in a virtual world now. We live in this great internet world where the globe is just next door.
Yes.
Are these techniques that you can do? I'm just going to use the word Zoom as a word, not as the complete situation. But are these things that you can do over Zoom or do over some sort of format like that?
Absolutely. Except I usually just use audio. I find that I can tune in better with the person and work better with the person. And all as they need to do is have their headphones in and find a really comfortable place where they can sit, and lie back as well with the Qigong and the hypnotherapy sessions. And then I work with them during they can be in a trance, because in a trance you can just wake up just like that, and you're completely in control. It's just like driving the car from, say, I live on the Sunshine Coast to Brisbane, and you get there and you wonder, gosh, I got there so quickly, because you're in a trance, but you know when to brake, if there's if you want to turn off, all that sort of thing. Same as watching a movie. You're watching a movie and somebody's calling you and you don't hear them, you're actually in a trance. So that's very similar what it's like when you're in hypnotherapy. So you're actually tuned into what you're doing at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's interesting.
So no one is in control, and with hypnotherapy too, nobody can give you information that you don't want. And if you try to give someone, if you were wanting to give someone information that it's not going to work for them and they haven't given you permission, it's not going to work. So you have a big conversation first about what you want out of the session, you know, and with the energy work, I can see. So even though I'm not with the person, I can see the energy, and I can see where that energy needs to go in the person, or what needs to be cleared.
And I think this component of seeing is so amazingly important.
Yes.
It's like that unique difference from some people to other people.
Yes.
Like you, I've never known any different. Like I was 30 before I knew the label, but it didn't mean I didn't do it for the past 30 years. And the same as a little girl, you saw spirit, and you were always doing that. So I will put a link below. As I said before, I will put it on the description and on my Facebook page. So if anybody would like to contact Gwen. Now, I would highly recommend a reading from Gwen. I would highly recommend the hypnotherapy with the Qi-Gong. And if you want more information, are they able to contact you through your Facebook page or your direct message? How would you make it easy for people?
Facebook page, Messenger, WhatsApp. You know, I especially through my business Facebook page, and I've also got contact details on my website as well for people to fill in and send to me, and I can email them as well.
And so what's the name of your Facebook page, your business Facebook page?
Oh, it's Healing One. I think I sent you the link. I think it's called Healing
One. It up. I'll put it up anyway.
I sent you the link, and I sent you the link for the so if they put in Gwen.Hodder, you know, www.gwen.hodder.com, that will bring up my website as well.
Right, and that's HODDER.
GWEN.HODDER.com.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Gwen.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your amazing knowledge to our audience. And I know you're going to do well from here on in. Thank you for being my friend for 32, just over 32 years now, 32 years and 6 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But who knows?
Thank you.
Counting. Okay, so thank you so much. And for those who are here with us today, please subscribe, press the subscribe button, press like, and please leave a comment. It all goes into the algorithms. It gets us out there. More spiritual knowledge needs to be out there all the time. We live in this wonderful world of incredible chaos. The spiritual knowledge will bring us back to earth, will bring peace and harmony, which is what the globe needs. Mother Earth needs it. We need it. You need it. So until we meet again, keep safe, be kind, and please don't forget to breathe.